I thank the chair and Director Yanku. Thank you for your presence and thank you for your testimony and your service to the country. It's my understanding that trademark filings have increased significantly over the last several years. Is that right?
That is correct.
And am I correct that since 2014, they are up overall from about 300,000 to approaching 500,000 per year? Is that right?
It's correct on the second part, the approaching 500,000 per year. I don't have the figure from 2014 in front of me, but I'll defer to your figure. It's increased dramatically.
And of course, the USPTO maintains a commitment to issuing quality trademarks. So given this increase in volume, has there been an increase in the number of examiners, or how is that process being managed?
Yes, most definitely. We have increased the number of examiners, and we've done a number of other things as well.
One question about the impact of the shutdown. It's my understanding that USPTO was able to stay open for a period of time, if not throughout the entire duration, because of the reserve that you have as a fully fee-funded agency. Is that right?
Correct. We were able to stay open during the entirety of the lapse in funding.
And at what point would that reserve have run out?
So it differs between the patent operations and the trademark operations. We were approximately a couple of weeks away on the patent side, and I would say approximately, with an emphasis on approximately, a couple of months away on the trademark side. And
at a certain point, it would have resulted in trademark examiners and/or patent examiners being furloughed during the duration had the reserve fund run out. Is that right?
Yeah, probably. If we ran out of funds, we probably would have had to furlough examiners. As I said, patent first, trademark later.
And what would have been the impact, in your view, on inventors, on the innovation economy, on the ability for entrepreneurs to bring their creativity to life?
It would have certainly been disruptive to the IP, to the patent system in the patent case, and trademark system in the trademark case.
Now, in the event that there's another government shutdown, hopefully there will not be, is there an avenue available for you to access the funding stream that is available based on the fact that you're a fee-funded agency, or is that, as I understand it, prohibited under the law?
Right, correct. Right now it's prohibited under the law. We are not able to spend fees collected during a lapse in funding. Even though we collect the fees, we can't spend them. But what we can do is what we've done in the past, which is we can spend fees in our operating reserve.
In your view, is this an avenue for exploration in terms of a congressional fix, since in fact you are currently accepting fees even in the midst of a government shutdown, but prohibited from being able to spend those fees to maintain your operations?
Well, obviously, access to our collected fees would provide more certainty for continued operations, and should Congress direct such changes as you indicate or provide additional authorities, we will, of course, incorporate those changes and authorities into our contingency planning.
In the brief moment that I have, turning to a different topic, it's my understanding that current law, specifically Section 2 of the Lanham Act, local governments, towns, municipalities, cities are not permitted to obtain a federal trademark registration on things like their flags, seals, and insignias. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, if the government seals and insignias are federally registered, and we're working on bipartisan legislation in that regard, what are some of the protections or enforcement mechanisms that would be afforded for cities or towns or municipalities to protect things like the police department badge, the fire department badge, the state flag, or things of that nature?
Presumably, depending on the content of the proposed legislation, presumably the same remedies available to other mark registrants and owners, including the ability to prevent others from duplicating that particular insignia or flag and the like.
Thank you, Mr. Director, and with that, I yield back.